What's good, YouTube? Today, new video, always beautiful sunrise. Quick intro to say, I don't even fuck the intro. I just want to say that I love reading fiction. Like, people should read more fiction and stop focusing on. Wait, I need to flip flop. I'm gonna go perfect within the video. Anyway, I think people should stop focusing on all those improvement, finance, and philosophical books. I mean, not the philosophical book. If I had to keep one of the mindset, like mindset books, I would keep the philosophical books because, yeah, they give more value than all the economics and self-improvement. I mean, people often bend self-improvement and the philosophical book, but hey, philosophical books are way better than self-improvement. I mean, I wouldn't say that David Goggins is a philosopher. Philosopher? Yeah, I wouldn't say that. But this is clearly a self-improvement book because he's talking about his life, how he's always hard, whatever. Anyway, people should start reading fiction because how can we... Wait, why do we read? Why do we read? I mean, it's not really why, but what's come with reading is more that like that, because when we read, it's like taking the mind of the author. Like, if I write something on a piece of paper and I give you to read, you're gonna see what's come in my mind. Like, you're gonna have the piece of my mind. That's what reading is all about. It's about taking the peace of mind that is written. Yeah, that's that. So when you read philosophical book, you take the way of thinking, like stoicism. You take this. When even nihilism, like, I don't know, whatever, yeah, you take this in your mind. And this is what reading is all about. But when you read fictional books, what do you take in your mind? You take the fantasy, you take the hopes, the dreams of the author. And this is way different because what you take is more beyond the usual way of thinking. Because let's take the isekai. Isekai, the genre most popular in Japan, is a genre that when the protagonist, mainly a middle-aged salaryman, get killed in a car accident and get reincarnated in a fantasy world. What does this say about the society in Japan? This genre is really popular, by the way. Like, when I say popular, it's like you can make any isekai, like trash isekai. Like, I got reincarnated into a flip-flop and now I do OnlyFans for feet or whatever. This will be popular in Japan. I don't care. They don't even care about what they consume. They just want to turn their brand off. But anyway, why is that? Because they have their society is built in a certain way that's really exhausting. There is a reason why the main character is always a middle-aged salaryman, because that's the target audience. It's like self-insert. If I do an isekai, would I make a middle-aged salaryman? No, I will do someone that is in university and is low-key failing. That's what I would be doing, not salaryman. That's just projection. That's self-insert. So that's what you're getting from the book or from the story or whatever. You're getting the how people are in Japan. What you get is that Japan people are mostly lonely, virgin, exhausted from work, and they want something more meaningful than their stupid job life. That's what you get. And you can have the same for Korean people. The Korean people is more like reincarnation, like transmigration, and this is like equivalent, but they're way different because the protagonist is not a fucking virgin. He's way younger, um, and his the Korean the little twist is that they don't want to find meaningfulness in their life. They want to go back to do their life perfectly, and that's real different. Like, would I rather get reincarnated into a fantasy world or be reborn and start my life to do it in a perfect way and that I have all this knowledge? That's the real question. But anyway, this is what you can understand about the author and his point of view and his state of life. When you read something like I don't know, Reverend Insanity, big novel in China that recently got out of band. It's about a guy in a fantasy Chinese cultivation world. Like, it is really specific. Like when you don't read Chinese novel, especially the fantasy one novel. But this book got banned for being too violent. The MC is way too ruthless. That's really fucked up. But the reason, it's also something that really interesting, because the reason it got banned is also because it was kind of a personification of the Chinese government. And it's a Chinese author anyway. That's really say a lot about the country, because when you have someone that is willing to do anything in his power to get what he wants, and this is exactly what China is depicted as, and on top of that, the book is getting banned, you can really understand how China is, how the context, the everything is in China. You really understand the culture, how the author view China. Like, this is what you get from the book, and you can get this. What the fuck is this noise? Is that a goose? Anyway, that's really what you get out of the book, and you can do this with any book. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the other book I can talk about. There is this book that I'm reading, Korean novel. And this one, it's kind of like isekai, but also regression. So the MC gets transported into this Chinese cultivation world, and every time he dies, he go back to when he gets transported into the world. So it's a infinite cycle. And the main thing that you can take from this book is not that he's a loser, or that Korean people or Japanese people, anyway, it's not this. What you get from is that the MC never give up. Like, he lives like more than hundreds of years, and he never stopped growing. He's really bad at growing personally. Like, he really has a trash talent. Like, he almost can be considered disabled in his cultivation world, but he does this cycle repeating in such a way that he becomes the best. And when he becomes the best, there is always a mountain behind the mountain. That's a way to say that there is always something bigger that you have to surpass. And on top of that, he see all his family, not really his family, but his co-workers, his friends die all the cycles, because they always come back. He always come back. So when he come back, they don't know him anymore, or they die in the previous cycle anyway. And this book, if I really have to take something out, is that is the human nature. Like, the human nature can be really beautiful, especially in hard conditions. Like, you could have the most meaningful and beautiful friendship in war. Like if you go to war to a stranger, you stick together, you will be best friend. That's how life and human are built. In hardship, you get the best out of everything. If I put a gun on your head and say to do something, you're probably gonna do it because that's how humans are built. And you can do this with every book. Just read fiction. Fiction is really beautiful. Sometimes fiction is really funny because whatever the author is writing, like genius MC, that's know it all, always one step ahead, some trash like this, you're gonna get something out of it. But don't read always the same stories because you'll get stuck in a loop, and that's kind of echo chamber. Like that's the same thing that TikTok and Instagram are doing because they keep you trapped in a box with your thoughts running around like this, and you don't get anything out of it. But anyway, read fiction. That's what I wanted to say. Bye.